Hello everybody, welcome back to the Rustic South. I hope you are having a fabulous day. Come on in. Today we're going to be making a wind chime. Front yard, backyard, maybe in your house. There's a list of supplies that we're going to use today, and there's the wind chime we're going to make. I'll fill you in on something at the end. This is a number 2 can. Yes, I did buy a big can of green beans at the store so that I could make this. And I took it outside and spray painted it with that warm caramel and that black that you saw there in the beginning. Okay, it was just sporadic. There was nothing to the design or to, I just did it until I liked the look of it. So, if you want to use black and brown, then yeah. If you want to do white or like an ocean blue, that would be really cute to paint flowers on. So we're going to be painting flowers on this. And right here in the center, I am using Waverly's moss to paint the center of these flowers. And I'm going to attempt to paint sunflowers. I would say they turn out like sunflowers. Now what I think I might have overdone was might have maybe added a few too many colors in the end. But if you make it too, like I hung mine in my front yard, but if you make it too light in color, then they're people who pass by. I don't know how many people are actually going to see it anyway. But they're not going to be able to see it from the street, right? Or you're not going to be able to see it from the street when you drive up and so forth. So if you're putting it in your front yard and you want to see it, I would use some more bolder colors, okay? So here I'm using the pumpkin color. This is from Dollar Tree. So when I'm painting this on, it's pretty light. Right, so I don't really know if doing a coat of Mod Podge before you paint on top of it might help, or maybe using Waverly paint and not Dollar Tree paint might have also helped, or like chalk paint instead of just acrylic paints. So just keep that in mind. Keep when you're painting, if you're going to paint it. Yeah, but I learned after doing, I think there's like 6 or 7 flowers on here. After doing 6 or 7 of them, I just kind of made a swoosh up one side and a swoosh down another. And you don't really have to fill it in, especially if you're going to use more than one color. Like I add a little orange, and I add a little green. I contemplating putting blue. So like here you see me going swoosh up one side, swoosh down another, up and down, kind of a little bit of an arc, right? They're very simple to do. And on part of this can, I don't really know why I did not wipe it off with alcohol, so that might be something you want to do as well. Wipe it off with alcohol to make sure there's no oils from your hands on it. It kind of acts like it wouldn't take, right? Or it wouldn't, didn't want to take the paint. I mean, it took the spray paint fine. But you may also want to try rubbing, cleaning the surface with alcohol before you start. Okay. And looking back at the video, I believe that doing just the middle in the green, which almost looks blue on here because of the undercoat of brown and black, and the yellow leaves, I think that would have been more of what I was going for, but in the end I ended up adding more colors. Well, I was kind of late then to, not late I guess, but I didn't really want to paint over it again. So I left all the colors that I added, but I would have just left it with the yellow petals. It was really more simplistic and cute, but in the end you'll see that I do have many more colors on it. I mean, not too many, but Anyway, okay, and I also took it outside and I used a hammer, which I took footage of this, but I don't know where it is. A hammer, and I punctured a hole in the top of it. And I also beat the heck out of it. I put a piece of board up in the middle of the can, and I beat the heck out of it with a hammer. And this was after I spray painted it, and it did not chip off any of the paint. So the Rust-Oleum paint sticks really well to this can. Well, at least on the bottom. Okay. So we'll make sure I get all of my points in here to tell you. I think it's just this acrylic paint isn't is not going on very well. You know, it's darker in other spots, and you do have to keep refilling your brush quite often because they become very light. But yeah, I know that may just be because I'm using all the paint. I hope you'll try this craft. It turned out really cute. It's hanging in the front yard. At the end, I will tell you, I use wrought iron, my rusty wire, not wrought iron, sorry, rusty wire to hang the bells from. And because they're so stiff, they will not allow the wind to like blow the bells. So I would, if I were you, I would change that part to fishing line. There's the orange. Now I'm going to put this orange on there too because I wanted some orange in this. I would not use the rusty wire. I would use fishing wire because it's too stiff. The wind can't blow it, and they will not jingle. Unless, of course, you just want it out there for looks. That's fine. Which I left mine that way because it's my style, and that's what I really want is rusty wire. I don't want fishing line. But, you know, if you guys really wanted to make noise, then I would use fishing wire. Okay. And I do put a second can up under here. And I don't know what that can is called. It's a 28 ounce, like a tomato can, you know, like stewed tomato can or something. So I paint that in the same colors that the big one is painted, the brown with the black, but I do not paint any flowers or anything on that. I just leave it brown. But what I thought might be cute on here too is maybe you might want to paint some green vines coming down from some of the flowers, not all of them, and maybe add leaves to a vine or two if you're going to paint vines on it. Also, for an idea for this smaller can, which you'll see shortly, is maybe add what looks like grass to the smaller can on the bottom. I think that would be a good idea. Just throwing out ideas in case you are interested in this. These were actually really fun to paint. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I paint not too often, but I do freehand several things. I've done a few things with stencils on here too, but I do freehand a lot of things as well. And this was actually fun to paint freehanded. I think there ended up being probably like 6 flowers on the whole can, I think so. Yeah, so here we're adding orange. So let me take this opportunity to say thank you for coming back. If you're returning, I so appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying your beginning of your summer, which I don't think it's officially summer yet, but it sure as heck feels like it. It's so hot outside. So welcome back. Please take a moment to like and subscribe if you're new, if you're enjoying what you're watching, if you're enjoying my crafts. So in the end, I end up using Waverly's moss for the middle. For the original yellow petals on the sunflower, I use the pumpkin color from Dollar Tree. Now I'm using this red, which I believe it's called red oxide, I believe, from Dollar Tree. Just to add a little more dimension. To it, I also believe that I'm going to use a little bit of green on some of the petals. Again, I was trying to, and I'm also going to add Waverly's yellow. You see that big container sitting there? That one I'm shaking now. I'm going to use that because that adds such, that's not Waverly, that's Apple Barrel. It adds such brightness to it, and it helps to see it from a distance, right? So if you're going to hang this maybe from your guttering outside or from a tree, I have it hanging from a tree in my front yard. Yeah, so just keep in mind that the brighter the colors, the easier it will be for someone to see it. Yourself or anybody walking by. You know, ever since I put this out, I think it's rained once. I mean, we got a little wind the other day, but it's not too windy here. At least I'm not sure where you are, but I'm inland Florida, and it is not windy. It's blazing hot, is all I got to say. I hope you're keeping yourself cool this summer. Summer hasn't officially started, but it's sure. I'm so sorry, I have allergies. It's just crazy. So add as many colors as you want, and then shortly I'll be putting some dots in the middle of the sunflower. Excuse me, to mimic seeds. And this dries fairly quickly. Here's where we're going to put the dots in. This dries fairly quickly because, you know, it's not very thick, so it is not a very long craft. And you know, if you don't like to free-handedly paint, which this is the first time I've ever done these, right? And they're by no means perfect. They're by no means beautiful. You know what? It's art. Everybody's art is different, and don't be ashamed of your art, right? Hang it up. Put it outside, or maybe you could find a stencil, or maybe some rub-on transfers, or some rice paper that you like, maybe that you could cover this with, or some tissue paper that you like, or napkins from, you know, our home decorating stores that are quite plentiful, or online. Those are just some suggestions for you, you know, if you do not like to paint. Or if you don't want to buy the supplies, you don't want, you know, mess with the supplies. And this is the first time I've ever bought a number 10 can of anything. So, so yeah, that was, it was just kind of funny buying it just because, you know, I've never bought it before. But anyway, so yeah, so I beat the heck out of it outside of my patio with a hammer so that I just like that look better, right? Than it being flat. But again, that's me, right? That's just what I kind of like. And there's a close-up of the sunflowers. So you can imagine looking at that from like, you know, 30 feet away, right? So the brighter the colors, the better you're going to see it from the street. Okay, so here are the little butterflies. I think I've used these before in another craft if you've watched my videos. I'm going to take those and I'm going to glue them to some clothespins that I believe I got from Hobby Lobby that were already painted brown. And we're going to clip them onto the bottom can that hangs out of the bottom that the acorns that you see on the screen will be hanging from. If that makes sense. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, you'll see it in a minute. Okay, so there's the clothespin we're going to glue it to. And this is the smaller of the two cans. So this I'm going to show you. I'm going to punch holes in this bottom can, the smaller can. I guess number 28 can maybe? I'm not really sure how. Because this is the, I'm putting 4 holes in there. You know, I'm turning in a quarter each time and putting a hole with my awl or ice pick or anything you have that's sharp, but be very careful, and a hammer. That's a ball peen hammer that apparently we just got. Still has the thing on it. So yeah, so I'm putting holes in it, and if you want to put more than 4, put however many holes you need. And if you want to put holes in the big one and hang, see there's the smaller can. I painted it in the same fashion I did the other one. And that's the rusty wire that's hanging out the top of it. So this is my rusty wire. And I like this because this is the look that I like. But if you actually want it to, you know, make noise, you can either find an old wind chime that maybe you already have that has the little chimes hanging from it. I thought I had one around here, but I couldn't find one. You could use those if you want to restring them. So this long wire that I'm cutting here now is the one I'm going to be sticking inside to connect the two together. So when you're using this wire, be very careful if you're using it. It's can be sharp where you cut it, okay? Super duper careful with anything sharp. Okay. And then I'm just bending it around to try to make sure that my cans are going to stay on it. And again, I punched a hole in the top of that can the same way I just did those other ones. Now I did do that prior to beating the heck out of the top of it with a hammer, but yeah. So here I'm trying to measure how far down the big can is going to hang so that I can bend the wire right at that point, and so the big can will hang in just the right spot. See, I didn't think about it whenever I was doing this, that this wire would be so rigid that it wouldn't really allow the wind, which there really isn't much, the wind to even move these cans much, right? So I think your best bet, again, is using fishing wire. I would not use rope or jute because they're going to fall apart and disintegrate in the weather fairly quickly. And again, maybe you don't want this outside very long anyway, so So it takes a little adjusting to get it to the right spot. I think I have to move it up a little further. It came down a little too low. Yeah, so I ended up having it too low in the beginning there. And if you don't have any old wind chimes that you can use any kind of bells. You could use the rusty bells. I was going to use those that you can get at Hobby Lobby during the Christmas time. If you have those, you can use those. Or I'm using these acorns. I got those at Hobby Lobby during Christmas time. You could use any kind of the little petite bells that you get at Dollar Tree. You can even use old chandelier, like teardropped, you know, either the acrylic or the glass teardrops from an old chandelier. If you have one, any of those laying around or hanging around anywhere, or even any kind of metal, right, that will blow and make noise when it hits the cans or each other, right? So you can make this as rustic or as cutesy as you want, right? I know there's some really pretty napkins out that, you know, you could probably Mod Podge on here that would be super cute. And then I would put a layer of Mod Podge over the top of it if you're definitely going to put it outside, just to make sure that you know it's going to survive as long as you wish it to survive. Okay. And then there I have, so I'm taking it out of there. So here I'm going to put the wire through the hangers on these acorns and hang them from the small can. So there it is from the side view, and now we're going to put the rusty wire through the holes that we punched in earlier. Again, you can do more than 4, you can do as many as you want. You can do more from the bottom of the big can if you want. Okay, I think we're almost done here. I hope you enjoyed. You're going to see the next picture, I think, is you're going to see us outside. See, there's the clothespins with the butterflies on it, just to add a little bit to the bottom. And there it is hanging outside in the tree. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate it so much. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe. It's free. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.